He will forget Arash ever existed.
Now, through the mist on the mountainside, a shadow looms, like the moon in front of the sun.
Father, why didn't you teach me how to cry?
I am the one who should cry.
So you've heard it too, Father. You don't know me anymore, do you? It's not surprising, because I don't know Arash myself.
Everyone has abandoned you, Arash. You are alone.
I am full of spite.
For your enemies?
For my friends.
Arash, is it true that you have conspired with the enemy? Is that true?
How can I convince you of anything else?
I am not the one who must believe you. Look down to the meadows. To all those people standing side by side. There is only you now, Arash. The arrow. Release it with your heart, not your arm.
Isn't it useless?
Useless.
The horizon is so far.
Throw it further.
As far as the meadows that were once our home.
Further.
As far as the enemy's home.
Further.
To the eastern shores.
Further.
Beyond that.
Further.
Father, teach me to love.
No.
Give me strength.
No. If you are full of spite, I have nothing left to give you. You are stronger than I. Listen, Arash. Your heart must release the arrow.
Release the arrow,
Not your arm.
So he said, and vanished.
Here, a cave in the mountainsides. Inside, the watchmen of the enemy with blades of bronze and iron. One of the men approaches, a board in his hands, and laughs.
Arash, if that's you, tell us, who were you shouting at in the heart of the mountain? We looked, but there was no one but you.
No one.
No one. There was a distant cry, echoes, like the muffled screams of a wounded man, but we only saw you.
And the watchman releases the bird, a message tied to its tail. Arash climbs. He sees the mountain's wooden coat fall beneath the mist, further and further. Now, a shield ascends. Behind it, a man. He shouts.
Arash, take a good look at us. We are the watchmen of the fifth and final tower. We are the last men you'll ever see. On your way back, Don't forget to tell us how you fired the arrow from that icy mountain peak.
Arash climbs. He sees the watchman's towers slowly disappear. He hears nothing now, except the sound of his own footsteps on the shoulder of the mountain. He climbs, and the joints in his body burn. He remembers his father told him once that when a scorpion is trapped in a fire, it stings itself and dies. And he, Arash, sees himself trapped in the fire of his own thoughts.
Then he stops. The smell of grass and dampness brings him to his senses. He looks around and sees that he too has been swallowed by the mist. His bow in both hands, he listens like a tiger.
A man appears, immense as an old tree. His hair white, as though winter snow had set upon his brow. He comes forth with flaming eyes, and the fire on his tongue leaps out of Arash.
Don't be their only hope, Arash.
Arash recognizes Kashvan, but says,
I don't know you.
Every treaty is broken sometime. There will be troubles ahead. Where will you be then? Listen, Arash. If you save your people now, you will always be their hope in the future. The hope that in hard times a man will come to deliver them. In any crisis, they will turn their eyes from themselves to find a chosen one. They will be weak, helpless.
His words are like an axe that hits the roots.
Your arrow releases them once, Arash, but enslaves them forever.
Arash turns and looks at the peak of the mountain, which waits patiently for him. And when he turns back, Kashfad too has disappeared into the mist.
and he, Arash, goes his way higher. He listens to the playful winds, to the whispering earth. He hears his name called. Twice, 3 times. He climbs and climbs and hears no sound at all, except for a cry. A hidden cry beating deep within his chest.
The mountain. That tall mountain, the Elbours, speaks to Arash.
Arash, will it so, and I will pour a deadly flood upon your foes. If you desire it, I can make such lightning that will turn everything to ash. But tell me, Arash, where are you off to so quickly? You are reaching the highest of the highs, the playground of the gods where no man is allowed
Arash, who hears everything, says nothing. He goes on towards the highest of the highs, towards the playground of the gods. He climbs, with his curved bow and his arrow, the sky under his feet. The sky, the keeper of the clouds. The clouds, the vessel of the rain. The rain, the joy of the earth. And the earth below, full of grief. And Arash, son of the grieving earth, reaches the highest of the highs.
Mother Earth, this arrow belongs to Arash, who was once a shepherd. Love has given him a passionate heart. He has never held a bow or released an arrow. He has never set a trap or hurt an ant.
Who is Arash?
Who at dawn was unknown, and now, at sunset, has the eyes of the world upon him. He was a warrior whose most dangerous weapon was his shepherd's crook.
Who is Arash?
An ignorant farmer that won't even curse a man who steals from him.
Who is Arash?
A curved back that has been loaded and loaded but never complained.
I am Arash.
I was a man once devout and pious. I was taught only to love. I turned my back on spite. But now, there are scorpions in my head. Now, a wicked man named Arash has stained me with disgrace.
He is Arash.
Standing on the other side of the earth, on the peak of a mountain, like a mirror, facing me. In his heart is my arrow's aim. He is a man so wretched, so disgraced that he was condemned before he was tried.
I am Arash.
Who at sunrise was ignorant,
And now at sunset knows something about the world.
and he, Arash, screams, I wish I could have known!
Arash is frightened by his own cry. In front of a silent, endless sky, he trembles.
I have left the earth, but the earth refuses to let me go. Mother Earth, I have come to take refuge in you. You are the only one who knows me, who I am. Be my witness.
Then he, Arash, the one to whom love gave a passionate heart, held his bow high, a bow that was more curved than the back of the sky. The earth rose up, the sky crashed down.
And Arash, with his feet on the earth and face to the sky, placed his arrow in the bow.
He held it high, very high.
And stood like a mountain.
He strung the bow and the clouds started to part.
He, Arash, son of the earth,
Drew the bow with all the might of his heart.
and lightning cracked the sky.
His bow curved and curved further and further.
And the waves of the sea retreated.
His bow curved more and more, and the earth buckled. The
Outlaws roared,
How can I bear this weight on my shoulders?
and the swift sun stopped moving.
The earth's crust gave way.
And the heavens turned redder than wine.
A loud cry rose from the world.
For on that highest of the highs,
Arash had disappeared.
And his arrow was traveling, and the people were shouting.
Arash will return! Arash will return!
And the arrow was flying with the wind in pursuit.
Horsemen who chased it, friends and foes, watched it disappear over the edge of the earth.
The arrow went on with the wind at its tail.
Crossing desert empty of life and green meadows where small huts grew tall.
It flew over 3 mountains,
7 vast plains and 5 blue seas.
one sea to the next, and then onward to the other.
Past the skies where the sun drives his chariot, and overseas
Where Venus comes walking.
The sun set 3 times.
The sun set 3
the
times.
sun set 3 times.
A storm struck.
And subsided 3 times.
And subsided 3 times.
Subsided 3 times.
The people waited 3 days.
On the slope of the Algors.
For Arash to return, but he didn't appear.
And again for 7 days, and he didn't return.
How could he?
He had released the arrow with his heart. The arrow flew.
Followed by the wind.
The arrow flew.
Day after day and night after night. Slaves and beggars saw it flash across the sky.
Travelers on the road couldn't believe their eyes.
Everyone talked about it.
Father to daughter.
Brother to sister.
And wife to husband.
Men who went in search of Arash came back with wrinkled faces and white hair.
And the arrow went on and on.
From heart to heart, tribe to tribe.
Generation to generation.
And since that time, the arrow has been in flight. In front of us, we see ourselves.
Our foes. Our own blood. Looking back at us with our own ghoulish smiles.
And I know many who still say,
Arash will return.
Arash will return.
Arash will return.
Arash will return.